All right, so before we hop into the campaign that I wanted to play today, I'm gonna explain a little bit about the how this game works and how the monetization in this game works, as far as I understand it, based on my short time playing it. Since one of my viewers has asked, and I'm decided to put it on the recording here, just so I can point to this explanation if anyone asks in the future. So, Lord of the Rings adventure card game. This is a um, card game, obviously based on the Lord of the Rings franchise, and it's primarily played as it's an encounter based game. So it's not a one versus one, player versus player card game like most on the market right now. It's a player versus environment style game. So I build a deck and I face off against Sauron and Sauron's forces in various game modes. So if we look right here, if we go to game select, you can see that there are single player games and multiplayer games. Multiplayer games are you and a friend teaming up together to face Sauron. And single player is just your deck alone versus the various encounters. So there's a tutorial mode where you can learn the game, earn some in-game currency to start. Quick play, random skirmishes. This mode is just like a single one-off battle. You complete one quest, see how your deck does, and then that's it. Campaigns are a series of quests, and it looks like the game by default starts with 3. So these are, I guess, these are similar. These are basically scenarios that have an interconnected story, and I think between quests, bonuses and stuff can carry over potentially. Like you shape how the games go with the decisions you make, if I'm understanding correctly. Not really sure how the adventures mode works yet. Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like you have a preset deck and it's like a single one-off quest. So it's not you bringing your deck in, unlike these. Like these modes, you bring your own deck in. This one, it looks like you have a specific deck that you have to use and try to meet the challenge. And encounters, advanced challenges, I don't know. I guess this is kind of like the puzzle mode of the game, maybe. Use your deck, see how well you can do. Yeah, so to touch on the monetization. So as far as I understand, this game costs about $20 up front, and you get access to all of the quests and all the game modes I just pointed out, plus several hundred cards already unlocked in the deck builder. Cards consist of heroes. You must choose a set of 3 heroes for each deck, and then fill that deck with cards that match those heroes' alignments. So you get a lot to start off with from the get-go, but there's a bunch of locked ones, and to unlock them costs fellowship, which is the in-game currency of the game. Fellowship is earned by completing quests for the first time with every hero. I think that gives you like 1,000 fellowship. So essentially, if you complete every quest with every hero for the first time, you're going to unlock like a lot of cards, since each one costs about 1,000 fellowship. Then you get bonus fellowship for just completing quests outright. So as far as I can tell, fellowship you can earn unlimited. And for completing certain conditions in quests, like, you know, let's say getting to the end of the quest with all your heroes at half health or higher gives you a bonus in some quests, and etc., etc. But past the $20, you know, entry point, the game seems to go on sale often. I actually got my copy through a Humble Bundle promotion. So yeah, and I do believe past what you can get to start and what you can unlock through playing, I do believe the game does have DLC, and I think it consists of heroes and followers, like, and other cards that you can put in their decks in addition to that, if I'm not mistaken. I also believe that DLC comes in the form of more campaigns to play. So by default, you only get these 3 campaigns, but if you want more stories, more campaigns with higher difficulty and whatnot, you can play that. Anyway, with that out of the way, we're going to jump into the first campaign here. So last week we tried the tutorial. And since then I've played it a little bit more off stream just to get a feel for the game a little bit more. So we're gonna try the Shadows Reach campaign today. And oh, look at this. It'll even show us what our rewards are. See, like there are bonus rewards the first time you complete certain missions. They're always, sometimes they show what they are. In this case, it's a mystery. We don't know what it's going to be. So Addercop is the first mission. And the deck we're going to try today is this deck I built called the Three Hunters. So I was trying to think about what kind of deck I wanted to build in this game to start, because you actually really do, even without using any fellowship to unlock cards, you really got a lot of options to start. And so I just happened to be looking at the Steam achievements because I was curious, and one of the achievements was to complete 10 quests with this exact mix of heroes in a deck. And the achievement is called the Three Hunters, so I decided, well, why not? That's a good starting point. Why don't we build a deck, aim to try to get that achievement. So we've got Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas deck. Aragorn is a leadership ally, and these two are tactics allies. So this deck is largely focused on combat step, and also leadership tends to be focused on having high value allies and getting a lot of value out of each of your turns. So it has a little bit of like resource generation and just like multiple use generation. I don't know what to call it. Action generation. Yeah, let's go with that. So anyway, that's the deck we're going to start at. We're just going to start with standard difficulty. And yeah, that's it. Let's just jump in and see how we do. I haven't played this campaign before, so everything
After arriving at Beyond's Hall, you've learned the famous Bilbo Baggins was taken by Mirkwood spiders mere hours ago.
in the Toro
Without
campaign.
hesitation, you volunteer to find and retrieve the Hobbit, hopefully before he's consumed, or worse. And so you find yourself before Greenwood the Great, that the wary and the wise call Mirkwood. A sleeping evil once inhabited the Greenwood, but was purged many years ago. The forest has since known a period of peace and the return of wholesome life. As the shadows now gather under the trees, you sense a foulness on the air. You fear evil may have returned to this realm. You begin to search for clues as to which direction the spiders took Bilbo. There are ample signs of recent struggle in the small glade, and several of the Hobbit's possessions are strewn about. After a few moments, you notice a gleam of metal on the forest floor. Perhaps a sign. You're about to investigate, as several giant spiders creep into the glade. They don't seem at all interested in assisting the search. Quite the contrary.
Oh, you're so funny.
If by life or death I can save you, I will.
I will go and look on the halls of Durin.
I can walk this path, but others have not the skill.
Okay. So there's a lot to dissect here for people who might have not played this game before. So we're going to try to break it down as I'm going to try to break it down as eloquently as I can. So right now we're selecting our starting hand, 5 cards. Why don't we take a closer look at some of these cards? Since there's a kind of a difference between the way the heroes, which are on the board, look and how the rest of the cards look. So these numbers in the top left corner is the cost of the card, as you can imagine. What the heck is it called? I actually don't even know what the resource in this game is called anymore, to be honest. I think they might actually just be called resources. Attack strength, health, and willpower. This is used for fighting creatures, obviously. This is used for advancing the story, for completing quests, and we'll see how that works in a second. And obviously, this is the character's health. There's several keywords that we'll get into at some point, whatever. Equipment looks similar, or has a somewhat similar structure, except obviously no questing or combat stats, but just passive effects that they add to characters. All characters can have up to 4 equipment, 1 of each type. There is weapon, armor, trinket, and and doom, which is only, or like something bad, I can't remember. That's only Sauron can equip on them. So like negative things. Actually, there are negative things you can equip to Sauron stuff too. But basically, there's a slot that's specifically for your opponent to attach to your character's cards. And remember, our opponent is an AI opponent. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick what's good? This is actually a pretty good starting one. That's a decent one. This is could be useful for later, but I think we can dump this one. Okay, just go with this. Okay, so on your turn, the way the turn structure in this game works is it's a back and forth. I take an action, then Sauron takes an action. And it goes back and forth this way until both players pass. However, one key thing to note is that when you pass in this game, even if the opponent takes another action or vice versa, you don't get to jump back in and take more actions. Once you click end phase, your turn's over. So you have to be very careful with that. But at the same time, if Sauron passes in such a way, then you know that you can just do whatever you want on the rest of your turn, which can be nice. So, like I said, on your turn, you take an action and it's back and forth. Actions consist of either playing a card or using a character. When you use a character, you're either attacking another unit that's on the board, or you're trying to advance the story by, I guess, adventuring through these locations. Every kind of board state starts with one or more elements that are either enemies and or things like this, and to advance the story we'll explain. So this is telling us the way that we can advance to the next sort of page or next chapter of this quest is we have to resolve the Glint of Steel or defeat every enemy in play. So I believe this is Glint of Steel, yeah. Examine the strange gleam under the leaves. So if we find time to, you know, rustle through these leaves over here while spiders are attacking us, then hey, we can complete this chapter of the quest. Or maybe it's in our combat focus deck, it's probably more prudent of us to just kill all the enemies. So the way combat works in this game is, first of all, characters enter play ready to go. So if I were to spend my turn with this my action for this turn and play this Rohirrim Lancer, I could use it my following turn with my next action. But as soon as I play this card, Sauron gets a turn. Very likely, in my experience, Sauron will use all enemy actions before he starts playing cards. So that's something you can kind of use to your advantage. Same thing with like equipping things. Like if I want to put this Elven Blade on Legolas to up his damage to like one-shot this spider, because we only got 2 damage versus 3 health, but I can give him +1 attack here and then we can one-shot this spider. Well, the problem with that is by playing this equipment, I pass my turn and there's a good chance Sauron uses this spider's action knowing that I could do that, and then it's kind of a wash. Because the way combat works in this game is that enemies don't strike each other back. I could actually kill one of these spiders before it gets a chance to attack and take away that option from Sauron on his turn. There are certain keywords that change this, but for the most part, that's how that works. The other thing you can do on your turn for actions, rather than attacking or questing with your characters or playing a card, is using special actions that each character has. So when you right-click on them, it'll show special actions that they can do. Fate allows you to use your willpower. Instead of putting it on the location in play, you can use it to fill this bar up here. And when you fill the bar, as a free action on a following turn, you can spend those resources to get whatever whatever level this is reached as a bonus. And some of them are specific to the quest. They're all specific to the quest, but some of them are specific to the page. So this one here says location specific, so meaning this option's only available right now. As soon as we advance past this chapter, this won't be available anymore, but these ones will, whatever they are. So, if we fill this up to 6 and spend 6, it looks like we'll get Gloin summoned into play. Yeah, we summon Gloin. So we get a character that's normally reserved for heroes, and you can only normally have 3 in your deck. We can get a 4th hero into play and his powers, which is nice. Other special actions, you can defend. Defend puts your character in the guarded state. Guarded units must be attacked if before non-guarded ones, and they do deal their damage back to attacking enemies, but this only applies to melee damage. Characters with the range keyword like Legolas can ignore guards. And the final thing that you see over Aragorn, but not the other ones, is this power. So he has a free action that he can do with his power. So some characters have a third thing that you can do besides attack with them. So there's a lot to dissect in this game. The other thing I'll point out, because it's kind of prominent and noteworthy, and it's staring at us, glowing menacingly on the side of the screen here, is there's this, what do they call it? Threat tracker. Okay, so the heroes you select for your deck start the game and play. So unlike cards in your deck, they don't have a cost, they instead have a threat level. The sum of this threat level determines where your starting threat will be at for any given game. So in this case, 30. Threat increases by 1 at the end of every turn, although cards in Sauron's deck can increase it at a faster rate. And when you hit certain thresholds during the quest, bad stuff happens to you. For example, in just 5 turns, assuming nothing else happens, Sauron's going to get a free 3/6 spider that grants +1 defense to every spider at the end of every round, which is kind of nasty. And if the threat tracker ever reaches 50, you automatically lose the game. So there is some sense of urgency with every game. You can't just sit there building a crazy value engine and just like overrun whatever Sauron can possibly play. You do have a time limit. That, I think, is about that. That's kind of going over most of the basics and a little bit beyond, so I think we'll leave it at that and we'll just start our game, perhaps. So I think I'm going to start with Greenwood Defender, because the way he works is on arrival, so when you summon him, he automatically triggers defense. So normally you'd have to play a unit out, and then on my next action, I could put it into the guarded state with the defense action, but this guy just does it right off the get-go. So Sauron's first action, if he wants to attack with it, with one of these spiders, has to target this Greenwood Defender, which I like. So we're just going to start with that. He only costs 1 of the 3 resources. Oh yeah, I didn't even explain the resource system. Sorry. So the way the resource system in this game works, you basically just get 3 every round. It used to be in the physical card game 1 per hero. I think they just made it 3, so even if one of your heroes dies, I think you still get 3. And you can bank it from turn to turn. So if I don't spend this 2 resources, I'll have 5 on my next turn to spend. And you can just build these up, build these up, build these up. There's probably a cap. I have no idea what it is. My guess is going to be 10. And that's it. Most cards in this game, because you only generate 3 resources every turn, you're trying to keep up with what Sauron's doing. Most things don't cost more than 3, but there's a few exceptions, and there is some in our deck. We'll see if we draw him later in the game. So this spider's done its action. It attacked this thing. It only has 1 HP left. There's no real urgency to finish this spider off necessarily. Legolas at the beginning of every round deals 1 damage, so you can actually finish this off, so that's fine. Because one of our characters took damage, Gimli's power triggered, so he got 3 attack. So I'm not going to use him to kill one of these things. You never know. Sauron could play something with 3 defense that we want to kill before it gets an action. Behooves me to use this character before he dies, though, because the next action Sauron's likely to take is going to run this hatchling spider into this 2-1 to finish it off, so we're just going to kill one of them before that happens. And remember, attacks aren't reciprocal.
My time has come.
So there we go. So now he's finished off. So there's no urgency to kill these units. They've acted. I still have all my hero actions to do. So why don't we upgrade Legolas with this Elven Blade here. See what Sauron does. Alright, it's annoying. Mirkwood Broodmother. On arrival, okay, so it increased our threat by 1. We were at 30, now we're at 31, and it summoned a hatchling spider, another one of those 2-1s. So unfortunately, we can't one-shot this, so it's going to get to do its thing. I could just gain strength. To give us a resource. Spider's acted, so that's that. Why not? Let's play a Rohirrim Lancer. I could have saved 1 damage, I guess, killing that. Maybe that would have been better, but I don't think the 1 damage is going to be that big of a deal. So we could actually use Common Cause to exhaust this ally to reactivate one of our other things. Probably not necessary. We can't quite kill everything this round. 2, 4, 6, and we can't quite fully complete this this quest in the same round, so we won't try.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Sauron passes, so now we know that we can just do whatever we want for the rest of this round, and he can't do anything about it. We'll just kill all the spiders. How about that? Oh god damn it! Why did I kill the one that only had 1 health? Well, that was a mistake. I meant to leave one of the things that had 1 health alive so Legolas could finish it off with his trigger. But since I'm a dummy... Oh yeah, you draw 2 cards at the start of every turn, huh? Haha. Not punished. We got this thing that when it enters play, it deals 1 damage. So there we go. Lying on the floor is a small elven babe, beautiful and light. This must be Bilbo's sword Sting, a valuable treasure. Ooh, sweet, we drew it too. You've completed the goal for this location. Travel now to avoid the looming threat. So there's this thing in this game where after you've completed the chapter, you can actually stick around and start taking more actions. But the longer you linger, the more that the threat will increase at a faster rate. So it behooves you to move as fast. +1 or +2 when attacking a spider and orc. This is a weapon attachment. We already have 1 weapon equipped to Legolas. What are the different types, by the way? Is it going to say? Ooh. Special. Yeah, so it goes weapon, armor, special, and then enemy attachment, basically. I think I have things in my... No, I have a ranger's cloak that I can equip to Aragorn, so maybe I give him Sting. Gimli is kind of our main attacker, though, so I think I want to give him Sting. And now we'll travel. We'll get the hell out of here.
Bilbo's mind must have been clear during the first moments after his capture. You notice that he slid his sword along the undergrowth as he was hauled away. When the spider's poison immobilized him, he must have dropped Sting. Encouraged, you venture into the shadowy green-grey wilderness that is Mirkwood.
I don't want
A small cocoon is dropped before the lady.
Eat it, milady. Scrumptious it is. Tasty, sweet.
The skinny creature squeals in pleasure and anticipation, jumping to and fro on arms and legs as if a spider himself. The creature gives the cocoon a kick.
False it is, Baggins, trickster, thief, cheater. Call him, eats it, eats it.
The enormous spider moves to hover over the cocoon. Spear-sized mandibles emerge slowly from its dripping maw.
Suck it to bounces, milady. No hangingness or dryingness needed. Not like tough dwarfses or tricky elves. Sweet and juicy habits. Just leave closes, milady. For precious is in its pockets, my precious.
The spider monstrosity is about to delve into her meal when a sudden noise is heard from the edge of the lair. Flapping its hands nervously and bobbing its scrawny neck, the creature pleads.
Don't listen to woodsy noises, milady. Eat while habit is warms.
Someone has arrived, and the spiders move to greet them.
For hours you delve into the menacing forest. Thorny undergrowth and sticky crawlers grab at you as if with minds of their own. A subtle change in the echo of the wood heralds a change in scenery, and you soon come upon a dark, gurgling stream. While the watery smells and soothing sounds relax you, you've been warned not to trust any water in Mirkwood, save for that gathered from fresh rain. The spiders must have crossed the stream by traversing the canopies above, but how will you cross? A nearby dead tree may be the answer. You attempt to push at the dry trunk, hoping for it to fall and bridge the stream. Unfortunately, your efforts attract the local wildlife.
Find a way to cross the stream. I guess we'll shoot this. So flying enemies can only be hit by ranged units. So I guess we could shoot this and then she could finish this off, but I know this enemy is just going to generate a 1/1 flyer on death. On revenge. As a revenge trigger. But that's fine. That's 1 damage instead of 3. And this thing's just a 1/3, a vanilla 1/3. That's not a big deal. Okay, we'll do that and see what we draw. Dunedain. Someone can tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. Dundayan Hunter, maybe? 1 mana, or sorry, 1 resource. What does it say? Yeah, whatever. I'm pretty sure they're just called resources. 1 resource, 226, which is a really, really good rate. And because he's a Dunedain keyword, like there's actually some synergy in our deck with that we can improve his stats even further. But as an additional cost, Sauron gets a 3 mana or less unit from his deck. But that pairs really well with cards like Feint in our hand, because if it ends up being something particularly nasty, hopefully we can reduce its attack power before it gets to attack us. Anyway, we're not going to start with that. I think we want to start killing this 2/1 flyer, but let's take a closer look at some of these things. This obstacle is keeping you from engaging any other objective. Okay, so you see this little lock here. This is the main thing we need to complete. Push over the tree to bridge the stream. Oh look, they even have a water effect here. That's nice. But we have to clear through this. So we need like 10 questing points in total to get through. Or we can just gather some wild honey. Why not? Remove pursuit from every enemy. Restore 2 defense to 1 character. Sure, whatever. What's the first thing that's going to happen to us that's nasty again? Brood Elder. 2 turns. 2 turns. Excuse me. 3/6. Yeah, whatever. Alright, let's start here. Probably going to attack with the 1/1. It didn't. So our melee guys can't hit the flyer. Our ranged dudes can. This Rohirrim Lancer actually throws his lance, so he's got the ranged keyword, so he can do that. I think that's fine. +2 defense on the adder. Yeah, sure. You build up that snake. I think we just want to start questing then. Aragorn's actually pretty good at doing that, so let's start. 3/2. We could feint that, but I don't think it's necessary. I think we just want to kill it. What do you do again? So this is gonna give Sauron +1 resource when it dies. I think we'll just take the 1 damage. That's not a big deal. Just activate Aragorn's ability as a free action. We can spend a resource to ready him again, and we'll just get rid of this quest since he's got 2 willpower. No biggie. Let's do this. Rats. Deal 1 damage to 1 random character on upkeep. So every turn this pings one of our characters. That sucks. I'm assuming we're about to lose this unit, which kind of stinks. Actually, she is Sylvan. We can actually give her +1 attack, +1 defense to prevent that from happening. Yeah, I like that. I don't think I want to play this hunter because I don't want Sauron to get something else for free this round. So I think we'll go ahead and just finish this off with Aragorn's ability or Legolas's ability. There we go. There's our 5-drop. Gandalf. Gandalf's a beefy boy. So 5 resources, 4/4/5. So very beefy, very powerful. And on arrival, we either draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage, or reduce our threat meter by 3. So incredibly powerful, versatile card. Expensive, but the other thing about it is he's fleeting. He only sticks around for 1 turn. But he is definitely a reason to build up resources in the game. And he pairs really well with our common cause. So we could exhaust one of our other allies, one of our lesser allies, pardon me, to ready him and get even more value off of him. Dealing 4, questing 4. Yeah. So we're going to probably save those 2 for that reason. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill this before it gets to attack. She doesn't have any questing ability anyway. That's all she's good for. Okay, Gimli kills that 1 shot now because he took damage this round, so he gets +1 attack. Let's start to quest. Reduce every ally to 0 willpower this round. That's so annoying. Oh. What? Every ally. Okay, so allies, yeah. It's different. In Runeterra, ally refers to every card that's on your side, but in this game, ally is just your non-heroes. Okay, so that wasn't really that bad then. Probably gonna just ready Aragorn and do his thing again. Actually, this is a perfect time to play this escort. This is a weak character, but when it dies, you ready one of your characters of your choice. Oh no, +2 attack. Doesn't matter because Gimli one-shots it, so... And it doesn't take return damage. Because that's the way this game works. Okay, so I think this is a good time to use Feint, actually. This thing has Stalwart. Stalwart means that it can act twice in a turn, if I'm not mistaken. Hello, this game... They need to fix the keyword highlighting. Sometimes it doesn't work. But anyway, I'm pretty sure what that means. So since we can't one-shot it, I think it's worth feinting it so it can't really do anything there. Sauron passes. We have plenty of time to do our thing now. Quest here. Does this thing have pursuit? It doesn't.
A red sun rises.
Just in case, I'm gonna do this since we have a free action anyway. Let's travel. Pretty sure. So some enemies can have the pursuit keyword, which means they follow you.
A dead tree falls across
that
the
one doesn't.
stream with a splintery crack. You use the fallen trunk to step across, careful to not slip. What could cause wild creatures to attack so? Perhaps the corrupted stream is their main source of water. As you jump off the trunk on the far side, a deep rumble greets you. For a brief moment you wonder what could make such a sound, but only for a brief moment. For out of the shadows shambles an enormous black bear. It roars. The sound is staggering. It fills the air like a living thing, terrifying and primordial. The impact of the roar sends you reeling backwards, almost into the stream. It charges, an avalanche of fur, teeth, and claws.
Hot damn. Defeat Kirus. I wish I had that feint now. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, what is your thing? Exhaust any character that Kyros attacks. Okay. Hey, Kaylin. Yeah, I think I still have this command ready. In a nutshell, I got kind of bored of it. For sure. I still think it's a fine game, but there's just way more other things I'd rather play at this point. Okay, that doesn't do much. So if this thing exhausts any character that Kyros attacks, so I mean if he wants to attack one of our tanky heroes just so that it can't act, I think I'm fine with that if it means one of our things isn't getting killed. Let's try to get some value off of our other stuff in the meantime then. Both of these things are going to be nasty, so let's kill the weaker one. Maybe we can kill it. Yeah, there we go. So we can ready her with that trigger. And now Gimli, because a character took damage, is actually strong enough to kill this thing. So, gain block. Okay, so that's actually pretty good equip. So block, it means it's kind of like tough from Runeterra. Every source of damage that this bear takes is reduced by 1. So that's kind of annoying. We're probably going to have to use Common Cause with Gimli, maybe, this round, if it means killing that thing. Maybe not. Play this on you. Okay, fine. I'm not going to engage this at all because Legolas's upkeep trigger doesn't affect this, so it may as well be used on this. Common Cause. Is Common Cause worth it? This is dealing 2, 1. Reduce the damn thing to 7. Maybe I just, like, save this for Gandalf, honestly. Let's start here and see what Sauron does. He doesn't have any resources left, so maybe just not doing anything.
I serve no man. He cannot stand alone.
And that's not repeatable. You can only do it once per turn. Let's just end the phase, I think. We'll just bank the 2 resources. I think that's fine. What's our next step? Another bear comes, but only for this location. So if we can defeat this bear within 2 turns, I don't have to worry about... This might be a turn where I want to defend with something. Like, our heroes are still pretty healthy, but maybe I want to defend with another unit. Because regardless of which of these 2 I attack with, the bear's probably killing the other one, or he's going for a hero. This is our first time playing a campaign. As far as I can tell, your heroes don't level up as you go through it, but your board state you can build up as you go. So kind of like a card game, you know, this is like a card game, not unlike Cards or Runeterra. But when you complete the 1 chapter and move on to the next quest, you're still going to keep all the upgrades you put on your heroes. So this Legolas still has this Elven Blade we played on turn 1, giving him +1 attack and +1 defense. And Gimli still got the Sting that we found on our first quest. So this is a card that's not normally in our deck, but we found it by completing one of the chapters in this quest earlier, and we gave it to Gimli. So he's still got that around. So that's kind of the way that's how the build-up in this game works, rather than champions leveling up like in an RPG or something. You just kind of build up. You build up your hand, build up your board state, and etc. This thing has Surge, which means I'm pretty sure this means you act again immediately. Is the wording. So we could play it and defend with it and make sure that dies, but if we're gonna do that, we may as well just do it with one of these other dudes and then save our ability to play Gandalf in a pinch. So why don't we do that? Why don't we defend with that? Forces the bear to attack. Now we still have Gimli doing his thing. Let's attack with her first, since she's likely to die. Discard every event from character's hands. Well, that's annoying. So there goes our common cause. Okay, we'll just finish him off then. Sauron passes. Just travel. Let's get out of here before more bears show up.
Before the monotony of the forest claws at you again, you come upon a sudden clearing. The sluggish breeze and one grey light of the dell are a welcome change from the humid twilight of the forest. On the far side of the clearing, you spy what you've been looking for. A group of large spiders hovering over a tightly wound cocoon. It's time for a rescue.
Final encounter. Defeat 6 enemy units or defeat every unit in play. Okay. And then it looks like we can free whatever is tangled up in this cocoon, which we think it's Bilbo, but it could turn out to be something else. We still have these things that we can spend our fate points on if we want to devote them to that. Exhaust up to 2 spider units. Maybe we should have built that up actually before moving on with our last thing actually. I forgot that was an option. Still getting used to the play patterns of this game. So what do we got here? A 2/6 guard and a 1/4 guard. Legolas can deal 1. Let's go here. It's actually a really good draw. I kind of want to use it on here because it has guard especially. But guard goes away when a unit acts. So I can just use that at some other point. This archer probably should do its thing before one of these twos attacks. So let's go here. She'll probably die. And then Legolas can finish this off before it can act. Looks like our quest updated there. I can't do my sneaky thing with Gandalf and Common Cause because Sauron exhausted that right before the end of our previous round, or sometime in the previous round. Still might be worth playing Gandalf. Gandalf plus Aragorn can actually free Bilbo, and I wouldn't be surprised if that gives us more resources in the long run. So why don't we do that? Summon Gandalf. We don't really need to draw 3. Dealing 3 could be nice. We have plenty of time before the next thing triggers, and when it does, recover each of your allies that entered play. Ignore summon allies. Oh, so Sauron will get all of the things that have died thus far. That could be really nasty if we don't get through this, but we can get through it faster if we do this. So let's do that. Okay, so that's unfortunate because guard units also prevent you from questing until they do their thing. I really want to spend the 7 willpower on this though, just to see what happens. So we're not going to do that. I think instead, what we're going to do is play the Warden and probably, since he has Surge, we get to act with him right away. So why don't we just defend with him and force the spider to attack?
Go back to the shadow.
I serve no man.
Trouble?
Surprising rescue. You tear into the concerningly large cocoon. Much to your disappointment, but not to his, the cocoon contains not Bilbo, but a Bjorning by the name of Will Elk. He's a big boy, though. Damn! 4 attack, stalwart, which means he can attack twice. We'll kill the one with more health because Legolas will finish this off with his upkeep power of dealing 1 damage. Kill you. Oh yeah, that's right. We just had to clear the board.
Lady and her brood are gathered at the edge of their lair. A band of orcs and goblins have emerged from the trees. Some heave empty wagons. Others carry torches. A huge orc trumps to stand before the lady.
Oh, the moon is full, Spidey. Uthak comes to collect.
He snarls. The lady chitters at her lieutenants who rush back into the webs. The spiders soon return with web-wrapped cocoons, depositing them in front of the orc captain. Goblins rush to gather the cocoons, loading them into carts. As the last cocoons are loaded, a hooded goblin begins screeching at Uthak, pointing to a parchment full of hash marks. Uthak glares at the yelling goblin for a moment, then blinks and pivots back to the lady.
We won short, Leggy.
The orc's grainy voice is mild, but laced with promise of violence.
Cold masters don't like short. Uthak don't like short. We had deal.
After recovering, Will Elk thanked you profusely. Over the past few months, he tells you, a number of tribesmen have gone mysteriously absent. He suspects they've fallen prey to similar circumstances, but offers no explanation as to why the great spiders have suddenly become so daring. Afraid to return home through the forest alone, Will Elk offers to join you, and suggests which direction the spiders were taking him. Somewhere under the never-ending trees before you, an old hobbit awaits rescue. Or doom.
Hero Award. Defeat 25 enemies using Legolas's upkeep ability. I'm assuming we did that over the course of multiple games. We did not do that in this game. So I guess there you go. There's another way to unlock cards in this game. Heroes will grant you special things. A good deed. So it is a special that gives you +1 attack, deal +1 damage with Legolas's upkeep ability, Legolas only. So that's pretty sweet. So I could put that in a deck. It can only be equipped to Legolas, but it gives him another attack point, which is always great on ranged units anyway, and then making his upkeep ability deal double damage seems really nasty. Maybe that was the quest reward, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. No, it said because we killed things 25 times. I don't know. So, we completed the quest, +1000 fellowship. First time completion bonus, we get honeycombs. So now more cards that we can add. Neutral cards, they can go in any deck. And bonus challenges. I'm pretty sure these are the same every time, so if you want to take note of these and grind a specific quest or mission, you can do this to ensure that you get more resources. So every hero was in play, as in we didn't lose a hero, so that's great. 6 event cards for each player, which was only one of us. We didn't play 6 event cards that game. Have 7 characters in play at the same time for each player. Again, so I think we had 6 by the end there. We didn't quite get that one. And we used Sting to defeat 6 enemies. So we put it on Gimli, which means post putting Sting on him, he must have killed 6 enemies at least in that game. And then gain 500 points when a hero completes this quest for the first time. So we won't get these bonuses again, but for now, 1500. Not bad. So that was quest 1 out of 5 for this campaign. So let's go on to the next one. In the City of Webs. And you can see that even though we started the quest with a specific deck, we can switch if we want to. So in standard difficulty, that might not be required, but as you increase the difficulty level of the game, and as you get into more and more difficult quests, you might be required to build decks that are for specific encounters, because that's how tough they are. But we're gonna go through this entire thing on standard difficulty with our main deck, no changes to it, because I'm pretty confident we'll be fine.
moves a hand to the pommel of his sheathed blade. Several spiders flinch back, but the huge female stands her ground, glowering down at the insolent orc commander. For a long moment, there is complete silence. Finally, she chitters quietly at one of the nearby spiders. The minion moves quickly into the lair to drag Bilbo's cocoon towards the gateway. As the spider drags the last cocoon before Uthek, a small, skinny creature flies out of the shadows, screeching
Precious.
like a dying animal. It wraps his arms around Uthek's thick neck and bites his right ear. Black gore spills, and Uthek's furious roar joins the creature's tinny wail. The screams echo through the trees and cobwebs.
As you make your way through the dense forest, a sudden shriek is heard from afar. Praying that hobbits are incapable of so pitiful a sound, you move quickly to investigate its source. The forest soon shows signs of giant spider webs. At first, only a few thick strands are seen between canopy and trunk, but the webbing quickly grows denser. Before long, the sticky ropes are thick enough to block your path. About to hack away at the webbing, you sense a subtle shift in the shadows and glance up. Only a few feet above your head, the myriad glare of malicious eyes observe you. Mandibles drip with ichor. Bloated bodies tremble with anticipation.
Elendil, I shall claim full amends for every fall and stubbed toe.
He stands not alone.
Those are really nasty looking spiders. I like the defense to start with, for sure. Probably want the Elven Blade. Resource advantage is nice. I don't know about this one. Might be okay if the Greenwood Defender with one of our things. Yeah, let's just keep this hand. You must defeat the monstrous spiders. Garlob is a 2/8 with block. D-Lob is a 2/9 with guard. And finally, Ulob is just a 3/7. Stupid Ulob. I mean, it hits the hardest, I guess, so.
Trouble?
Ah,
I
see?
can help with that.
So this guy's part of the story, so he's there with us. I don't know that it really matters which one we hit. I could like really think about it long and hard and try to math it out, but ultimately I don't think it matters. How much HP do you have? 3? So if I hit you, you go down to 6. This attacks him to finish it off. He goes down to 4, which means he finishes. Okay, so yeah, I think we do this. You don't have the Sylvan Blade anymore, right? Yeah, no. Ooh. Go on the other side of that guy. There we go.
I guard against the darkness. My time has come.
My time has come. So I can't attack there because this thing's guarded. Legolas can because he's got ranged, and it's almost a way to softly pass back to this. He can't die though. I wonder if I'm supposed to defend with him. That seems like a waste though because he has stalwart. If I play the archer, she's just gonna eat it to one of the spiders, but that means my heroes don't take as much damage. Probably just supposed to equip this blade onto Legolas then. Even if the 2/8 attacks, Legolas can then... Okay, well there we go. Make sure to get the value off of him now then. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, so Sauron played a Treachery. We didn't talk about these. There's another card type called Treacheries, and when they're in your deck, they're called Preparations. You can have up to 5, I guess, but not more than 1 of the same name. And they kind of act like countermeasures from cards, if you're familiar with that. They will trigger, or traps from Hearthstone. They'll trigger when specific conditions are met. So it could be on my next attack, could be on my next action, regardless of what it is, could be on my next card play, etc., etc. Let's just keep whittling down their board then. Sauron passes.
Cannot stand alone. You would die before your stroke fell.
Could play this out, it doesn't do much. I think I'm just gonna build up the one resource. I kind of like this because it means we could potentially keep our boy alive. Why is it not letting us play that? Did I like... Oh, maybe this is not considered a minion. Yeah, it's not, because it's got this icon. This is like a boss monster. So I can't reduce its attack to 0. That's why it's not letting me play it. Same thing with this. I don't have any allies in play, technically. These are heroes, characters, but none of them are allies. They're all heroes. Well, he's about to die, so I guess I should use that. Actually, I could defend with Gimli. Maybe that's what I'll do. Probably want to try to keep this guy around for as long as possible. Okay, let's start with this then, because it depends on... well, it already acted, so that doesn't do anything. Good job, Sauron. More like moron. Yeah, I guess we'll just kill. So now let's do what I should have done in the previous quest. We'll just build up Fate, since we... Actually, I think I'll ready him and build up even more Fate. Deal 4 damage per player to 1 spider, ignoring block. That seems useful. What's the final one? Choose attack, willpower, or defense. Grant +2 to every hero in the selected ability. Damn, that's really good. Makes me kind of want to play this. No, we'll just travel. As you finish putting down the last of the giant spiders, you turn to see spiders wrapping your companions in cocoons. With a cry of alarm, you charge to their rescue, but not before being blocked by more incoming spiders. You must rescue it quickly. Spiders have captured 2 of your heroes. Select a hero you wish to remain in play. God damn. I guess Legolas, because he basically has the same power as Gimli, even if he gets hit. Plus, he's got that ping. Dirty.
It's gone from bad to worse. You ventured into Mirkwood to free a captured hobbit, but now 2 of your party have themselves been captured. Unwholesome strands break apart with a snap as you cut and saw your way deeper into the lair. Mercifully, the web's denizens are either absent or preoccupied, for you catch only brief glances of hairy bodies moving through this world of pale webbing and grey-green murk. After slow and tiring progress, you come upon the nexus of the lair. An eldritch clearing devoid of webs, except for the huge sinister shape of a dead tree. Cocoons of many sizes hang from the branches like depraved fruit. A few of the cocoons are of the approximate size to your lost friends. One even moves fitfully. You move to open the cocoons, but the lair's inhabitants have finally noticed the intrusion into their midst. Clacking spiders soon surround you, strangely in league with several orcs.
To rescue your companions, recover your friend, to release one and free the other from the cocoon. That is unfortunately somewhat pointless. So this guy's gonna die, unfortunately. I bet you there was a bonus thing to let him survive. Cocoon, cocoon, cocoon. What is this again? Recover your friend to release one and free the other. What is... Oh, I see. So let's do this then. Because it's a free action, we're not going to pass the turn if we do this. So we can activate.
I shall claim full amends for every fall and stubbed toe.
And then, hello, why are you not able to defend? Oh, because it's didn't give us back our action yet. Okay, let's see. You have Surge, which I don't really care about right now. Let's just defend with Gimli. So we can, again, really would like to keep this guy around. And it's actually kind of unfortunate that we didn't find Aragorn because he's the best at questing. So that's problematic. What about you? You only have 1. This guy's got 2. Maybe he's worth using. You know what I'm going to do then? I might play him and defend so that I have a buffer against an incoming enemy like that.
That's enough.
Ugh, now he exhaust every ally that enters play. Brilliant. That's annoying. Okay. There we go. That was still pretty good because it gave us that window to do that thing. Kill you. Still haven't triggered the enemy's thingy here. Pretty sure. Again, really would like to keep him around. Let's actually defend with Legolas. Let's put the Ranger's Cloak on this guy since he's Dundayan, and he'll get +1/+1 here. And yeah, why not? Let's play the Ranger because she can actually kill one of the 2 spiders, and then Legolas's upkeep attack finishes the other one off. Upkeep action, not attack. Okay. Let's just get rid of that right now. Wow, that's a pain in the ass. That's fine. Common. Exhaust you, ready you. Cancel the next event played. Okay, now we know what that treachery was. That. That's fine, we can do this. And then Legolas can finish him off, maybe? Let's do this first and see what he does.
Not on my watch.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Select an ally to replace.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
So what is this again? So we can spend 3 to draw 2 cards, deal 4 damage. Oh yeah, or we get that. Yeah, we're definitely just gonna build up. Why the hell not? Let's spend a resource and build up even more. So we have 9 to spend. Uh-oh. Is that thingy triggering?
Bruised and bloodied, the creature whimpered at the cruelness of the world. It would have been killed had the orcs not been distracted by the intruders in the lady's pantry. It had escaped into the tangled undergrowth and shrouded itself in shadows from where it had seen Ulfthak and his caravan depart. All that remained was the faint creaking of the wagons fading into the gloom. The lady remained before the gateway. When the clangor of battle from within the lair diminished, she began to shift her monstrous bulk. A strange and battle-worn band soon emerged from the webs, faces paling in despair at the sight of the bloated monster. The Lady of Bogwood, brood mother of the western forest, descendant of the great Ungoliant herself, lost her composure and hissed with rage. These strangers had defiled her sanctum, her lair. Punishment was due.
Oh, shit. Draw 0 cards this round. Deal. I don't care about that. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ungoliant's Spawn. 3 attack, 12 defense, grant +1 and guard to every hatchling spider. That's nasty. Upkeep, summon 1 hatchling spider, yep. So we kill you, we win the game. So let's focus. Let's just put the 1 damage there first. Reduce a minion to 0 this round. I think I need to defend. How about that? Oh, we could use these free things too, don't forget. Draw 2, so we have 9 to spend. Grant +2 to every hero in the selected ability. Man, I'd love to give everyone attack. I could give everyone attack and then defend. This is a free action. Why don't we do that? Oh, to every hero. Whatever. Still good. You're not considered a hero, I guess. You're considered a unique ally that was summoned. That's what that symbol means, as we learned in the tutorial last week. I'm just a unique ally. Okay. Want to keep him around because he can act twice, so that's really, really good. This guy's got a lot of HP, so maybe I defend with him. And then again, forcing them to fight into, say, Aragorn could be very nice, or Gimli, but Aragorn's got a little bit more HP. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we gotta be careful here. We actually lose one of our units. Maybe I am just supposed to make them go after a hero. I don't want to lose one of our things if we can avoid it. I think we might just keep doing it because we want to get 2 actions with him if we can. Nothing dies in one shot. There we go. Oh no, if I do, because it's guarded, my guy will die as well. Maybe it's worth using feint then. Guard and stalwart.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Okay, Sauron's ramping up. Let's get this big hit in while we still can. +2 defense, probably going on... Not going on the boss monster. Seems questionable. Questionable play.
The forest floor is awash with the marks of iron-shod feet and wagon tracks. You begin slowly to make sense of the situation. The spiders are gathering slaves for a host of orcs, intended for some devilry yet to be understood. Deep in thought, you hike a sensible distance from the spider's lair to camp for the night, unsure of what to do next. As the shadows coalesce into night, you hear someone, something, creeping through the undergrowth beyond the firelight. After silent glances, a few nods, and a quick dash, the creep is quickly caught. Shrieking like a stuck pig, it bites and flails about with surprising strength. Its energy soon spent, the creature curls itself into a sobbing ball. You catch a few words amongst its rambling litany of self-pity, such as precious and... a name? Could it be? How that name would be known to the wretch you cannot guess. For the creature is muttering,
Baggins!
Okay. Web cutter. Gain ambush. +1 versus spider units. What the hell does ambush do again? I honestly can't remember what ambush does. Hey, look at that. Complete the quest with Wheel Elk in play. Wonder if he'll still be around because we did that. Trigger every available fate event. Oh, we could have done that. It's fine. It's only fellowship. All right, let's do at least one more. Whoop. On the trail. Poor Golem.
After defeating a colony of Mirkwood spiders, you discover that the 8-legged abominations had been gathering slaves for a host of orcs. You believe Bilbo Baggins was taken south alongside other prisoners. Before deciding on your next course of action, you capture an unpleasant creature lurking about your camp. To your surprise, the creature appears to know the name Baggins. The creature already looks beaten and bruised, so you attempt to use kindness to extract information. However, after being fed both food and gentle words, the nasty thing remains thoroughly unhelpful. Before dawn, a more pressing problem arises. As dull grey seeps into the black edges of night, flying dark shapes begin to swoop under the branches above you. They rapidly multiply, and before long it's as if you've been caught inside a black whirlwind.
Let me guess, bats.
Elendil, I
And
shall
birds.
claim full amends for every fall and stubbed toe.
He stands not alone.
yes to this. I think this will actually be pretty good because a lot of the things only deal one. I wouldn't mind just having a Gandalf in hand, ready to go. Ranger's Cloak is good. I think I'll get rid of the 3-drop though. I probably want cheaper allies. Maybe this is too many upgrades to keep in hand, but we draw 2 every turn, so that's fine. Okay, let's just blast this right off the bat. Okay, let's see what our thingies are. Forge for supplies. Restore 2 to every character. Reduce every character to 1 this round. Okay, so not a strictly... Grant +1 attack to every character. Does not affect Smeagol. Okay. Persuading Smeagol. Defeat every wounded orc minion. Okay, well I guess we're gonna fight some orcs at some point. Bolts from the dark. Deal 1 to every character. That's not that big of a deal. Grant +2 to every enemy. Not a big deal if there's not a lot in play. Exhaust 1 hero. That hero does not ready during the next upkeep. That could be really nasty. Okay. So if I play the escort, these bats are just gonna kill him right off the bat. So that's not good. Ranger's Cloak doesn't do much to advance our thing right now. I will probably end up playing it this round, but I don't think it's good. I think we'll just shoot down these bats, basically just turn it into a 1/1, which Legolas's trigger can finish off, and then look at that. The stupid AI... Oh wait, never mind, it's not that stupid. Fine, in this case, maybe the escort's worth playing now then, since it can't be killed outright. +1 after attacking with his enemy, it's not going to get a chance to attack again. +2 defense. I stand corrected. Treachery. I think what I'm going to do is actually quest.
No man.
I think it's worth just doing it again.
I serve no man.
So what we can actually do here is shoot this with the blade, and then Legolas's ranged attack can finish this off, so that's that. Well, I'm not reading that. Since we're about to travel, it's actually pointless to attack that thing. I think I'll actually just build up. Actually, no, this is a good opportunity to play this because Sauron's probably passing. Yeah. Basically turn 1 resource into 1 fate here. I probably need to start playing this game at a higher difficulty. That's fine. I'm probably never going to use that one. Grant +1 to every character. That's probably okay. We're probably most definitely using that one at some point. Yeah, let's do that. Spent a decent amount of resources, but we built up a ton of fate points, so... Ooh, we have a choice here. Follow the Orc Caravan or put your trust in Smeagol. I'm not trusting Smeagol. Following the
You
caravan.
have neither time nor inclination to follow the strange Smeagol creature. Rather, by day or dark, you'll chase down the Orc Caravan to free its captives, especially Bilbo. You gather your packs and set off. Smeagol watches you go. His ghoulish eyes glow dull yellow. After a few moments, he slinks away into the trees, muttering to himself. You wonder whether you'll see the wretch again. You hope not. The caravan is easily tracked, and you make good time. Even so, the day is mostly spent before you hear the faint noise of rolling wheels ahead. Exultant to have reached your quarry, you hasten your steps, hoping to surprise and overwhelm the caravan's rear guard. In the excitement, you forget to consider the keen noses and sharp ears of goblins. As you round a copse of dead trees, you suddenly find yourself facing a group of enemies, alert and well.
Mirkwood Patrol. 2/6 with guard. And then just 2/2s and 1/1s with ranged. Okay. Defeat 6 orc enemies or clear the board. +5 resources. Okay, cool. Probably just want to kill one of the 1/1s. The hell did you come from? It kind of behooves us to use one of our units first because they're likely to kill our boy here, and if they do, I want to make sure we can actually get value off of our guy. So what we can do is we actually kill this because Legolas's ranged unit can ignore the guard. Ranged keyword lets us ignore the guard. This is the only thing that can one-shot this, which means it spends its guard, which means our melee units don't take reciprocal damage.
You would die before your stroke fell.
And then we're gonna get the ready Legolas again, basically. Which means we could equip him with the Elven Blade if we want him to deal even more damage, which might not be bad. Actually, I think I'm inclined... Or the bow. No, that's pointless. Give the bow to Gimli, actually. This is 2 damage, huh? That's a lot. Legolas is already kind of low. I feel like I need to defend with Gimli or something. 4. What do we have here? +1. Oh, that's true. We could restore 2 to every character as well, which is not bad. Let's defend with Gimli. It's got plenty of HP to spare. I don't think I care about the 1/1/2 too much. It's probably an opportunity to play this. God damn it. Well, in that case, let's equip that Elven Blade then, huh? Ugly Bird, you go squish. Revenge grant +1 to Sauron. So it's basically a free 1/1 flyer for him, which is nice for him. +1 and ranged. I kind of want to give that to Gimli, even though he already attacked this round. I think it's just going to be a useful power.
A red sun rises.
Okay, I wanted to build up for Gandalf. Now I think I'm going to do this.
I serve no man.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. Gandalf has been captured. Oh, there's another one here. I just realized that. So I can give everyone +1, or I can give all the orcs -2. Probably gonna do that next round, actually. Do it. Defeat 1 orc. No problemo. Another Elven Blade. We would equip that to the Sword Elf, if anything, because Legolas already has one.
He cannot stand alone!
You would die before your stroke fell.
Actually, just gonna leave, I think. I want to build up these resources. Could.
The sound of horns and iron-shod feet clangor in the evening air. In the distance, you see torchlights flicker into life on the walls of what looks to be an old tower. Cursing your own carelessness, you dash into the thickets, orc horns blaring close behind. A fallen tree lying against mossy boulders must serve as a hiding place. You glimpse torchlit shapes of many enemies moving through the trees. By luck or fate, none come closer than 100 feet of you. After some time, the horns stop braying, and scattered groups of orcs return sullenly through the forest. Just as you begin to feel the danger has passed, you hear nearby rustling and the sound of voices. You recognize the grating speech of the enemy, and another voice. A whining, pitiful one you'd hoped never to hear again. Smeagol must have followed you, and has been captured by orcs. Loathsome as the creature may be, something tells you not to stand idly by while Smeagol is dragged towards certain death.
Again, we gotta rescue your ass? You spy the pathetic creature you met earlier, now bound by ropes. Save Smeagol, then try to hide. Smeagol must survive. Ooh, which means... I guess it makes a unit when you rescue. Ooh. Deal 1 damage to every character. Fine, be that way. Ooh, Surge is good timing. Exhausted the 2 orc units. I think I might do that, actually. I could exhaust these 2 and kill one of them here. We probably want to play Gandalf this round. We'll kill you to get some value out of you before you kick the bucket. Oh, I didn't realize that one was range. I probably should have looked at that one. Is this a Gandalf turn, or is this a veteran Sword Elf plus Elven Blade turn? We'll go down to, we'll have 2 resources remaining, which means we can play Gandalf the following turn if we want to, but then nothing else. But if we draw into Common Cause, that would be, we could get more value out of it. Because it doesn't really matter because we have a second Gandalf, we can save that for another point. Let's start here and see what Sauron does. Getting with these stupid burbs.
I serve no man. I serve no man.
Rip, grab, pinch, nab.
Well, there's Common Cause. That's good timing. What do you do? What are you? Patrols are coming from the nearby tower. You must retreat into the shadows. Oh, okay, so that's the next thing we need to do. Gotcha. Gandalf.
Go back to the abyss.
I'm gonna deal 3 to you. And then I should be able to common... Ooh. Let's use you.
You cannot pass.
And then Common Cause lets us exhaust you to ready Gandalf so we can use him again.
You cannot pass.
And we can get the F out of here. Oh shit. That 38's gonna trigger.
As darkness thickens, orange light from orc fires bathe the dilapidated walls of the ruined tower. Your spirits sink as you witness the last prisoners, no longer wrapped in cocoons, marched into the stronghold. Orcs and goblins seem to be everywhere. How will you get to Bilbo? And if you do, how will you get away? You decide to chance entering the tower through a small door in the tower's eastern side.
That one?
As you quietly approach, the door snaps open and a group of armed orcs emerge. The last of them brandishes a large key with which it proceeds to lock the door. As the door locks with a dull clunk, the orcs make to start their patrol.
Pickpocket the tower key or defeat enemies until you take it by force. Smeagol must survive. Let's see. Shoot you, finish you off with 3 damage using ranged. Probably what I want to do. Probably what we're doing. Common cause. Perfect. Got none of our defenders, which sucks. So I don't want to spend more than 2 resources this round because I'd like... No, not even. I only want to spend 1. Because I would very much like to... use Gandalf plus Common Cause next turn. Although we have gaining strength, so yeah, I guess I can use 2 resources. You
would die before your stroke fell.
Legolas is in danger. Danger, danger. He's not allowed to act. That's annoying. Let's do this then. Blade of Treachery.
He cannot stand alone!
Yaharaha! That's all I heard. It's another 2 damage? Yikes. I think Gandalf's gonna have to wait.
None shall enter.
Fine. Good, that was probably the most useless. Oh. I didn't realize we were that close. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here then. Fly, you fools.
After sneaking through the tower door, you emerge into a huge chamber full of reeking supplies, fallen stones, and intruding vegetation. A number of large chains emerge from openings in the floor along the walls. The chains terminate into an iron box bolted to the far side of the chamber. The box bristles with rusty hooks and mechanical wheels. You glide quietly through the room, keen to avoid attention. You peek into the connecting rooms, hoping for clues as to where the orcs are storing their prisoners. Steps are suddenly heard on the flagstones coming in your direction. After a few moments, a smallish orc enters the chamber to rummage through supplies. The light of its torch happens to catch one of your buckles, causing the orc to glance lazily in your direction. For a second, it seems not to have understood what it's seeing, but then recognition flares in its ugly face.
Final encounter. Oof, +1 every time you play a card. That's nasty. Summon 1 hazard. Restore 1 to Strange Mechanism. +1. Okay, woof, this is nasty. Okay. Well, that wasn't that bad. This just lets me resolve 1 hazard immediately. Wait, I think we want to kill this before he does stuff. So, reduce each player's hand to 3 cards at the end of every turn. Nasty, but not the worst. And summon 1 tower patrol. What is a tower patrol? We don't know. Okay, let's start with this.
I'll put an arrow in your guts.
It's not that big a deal. Alright, let's get rid of this one then.
He cannot stand alone.
Oh, we actually just reduced our threat. +1 every time you play a card. Well, how about we don't play a card? Let's just ready you and
No man.
resolve it. Pursue. Deal 1 damage to 1 random character every time you play a card. Sauron passes. Smeagol's great with Common Cause.
He cannot stand alone.
Yeah!
Smeagol has betrayed you. Somehow the villain has triggered the chamber's mechanism, causing one side of the floor to abruptly drop. Your legs slip violently as you flail down the steep angle, fingers desperately grasping for any hold. Amidst the cacophony of sliding rubble, supplies, and orc bodies, you catch sight of Smeagol dangling from one of the chains above.
Goodbye, says masters.
He shrieks.
Bargains and precious. For Smeagol, they are mine.
His shrill voice fades as you slide past the lip of the slanted floor and drop into a rancid darkness. You blink twice before meeting the wet ground with a mucky plop, debris raining down around you. Then a falling barrel lands directly on your head, and everything goes black.
Each in a single attack. The 3 golden hairs, arrival, minus... It's hard to see, but it's -3. -3. Threat, draw 3 cards if Gimli is defeated. Gimli only. Oh, I see. That's interesting. So you reduce... And it's interesting, it's not of the color that's in Gimli's alignment. So you have to play Gimli with at least one other green hero, lore hero, in order to access this. But you can equip this to Gimli, which draws you 3 when he's defeated, and on arrival reduces threat by 3. It seems interesting. I wonder if there's like some weird deck that you make that wants you to kill Gimli to get that trigger and then revive him. I know there are cards that let you revive defeated heroes, so that could be some interesting Gimli meme deck to build, perhaps. I think, how long have we been playing? An hour and a half? I think that might be it for me. Maybe we'll save the rest of this quest for next week. Shot from the sky. Deal 1 damage to every enemy with flying active and exhaust each. That's pretty powerful for... I don't think I'd put this in a deck because it's a generically powerful card, but specifically for a deck, or let's say for a quest that has a lot of flying enemies, you could build a deck to tackle that quest specifically. And this could be great in that. Smeagol was at full health, wasn't he? Oh no, that one random location dealt a damage to him right at the end there. That's too bad. Trigger every available location-specific fate event. I had a feeling that we might see that one again, but we had other pressing concerns. Cool. So what we did the first 3 out of 5 missions in this quest. Do we want to finish the whole thing? What time is it? 1. I feel like if I play the next one, I gotta play the next 2. That's the only thing. But it's only 1 o'clock. We could probably get through it.
You fought your way into the Forest of Mirkwood to rescue the famous Bilbo Baggins. After fighting spiders and bears and meeting a strange creature by the name of Smeagol, you arrive at a ruined structure deep in the forest. The old ruin operates as a staging point for mysterious slave caravans managed by a host of orcs. You believe the old hobbit is imprisoned in the tower. You manage to sneak into the structure, but without warning you are betrayed by Smeagol. Triggering an ancient mechanical trap, the contemptible creature drops you into a rancid basement. Knocked unconscious by falling debris, you finally come to your senses.
Ulfthac's room is as dark as his mood. He tears into the cold meat, juices gushing down his scarred jaw. Things are afoot the great orc cannot explain. Attacks in the forest, a ravaged patrol, the storage room mysteriously emptied. Ulfthac grunts and angrily throws his empty drinking horn against the wall, where it splinters to join a pile of dry bones and other detritus on the floor. Breathing heavily from climbing the stairs, Ulfthac's mewling steward, Slaggid, worms his thin frame into the room. Must the goblin always be clutching one of his parchments?
What do you want, worm?
Ulfthac licks dry the bone, and it joins the drinking horn.
A visitor has come, Ulfthak.
Slaggid lisps, and adjusts his cloak nervously.
From Dol Guldur.
Fear is not a common emotion in orcs, and Ulfthac considers himself uncommonly brave. Even so, he cannot halt the tendrils of dread that shoots down his spine.
The mouth of the Cold Ones has come.
You force your bruised body to stand, head throbbing like a dwarven feast. Your garments are soaked and dripping from lying in stagnant water. Now, where has that blighted Smeagol dumped you? The ceiling above must have retreated to its former position. Through a crack in the wall, moonlight paints the dank cellar in a bloom of grey light. Your feet splash as they move, for the nearby swamp has laced its way into the tower's foundations. Stale water and light-starved cattails fill most of the cellar. White tadpoles skitter about in the water, and thin lizards bob their heads on the slimy walls. The far end of the cellar is hidden in shadow. Did the shadow just move? It rolls and ripples before emerging into the moonlight. It's not a shadow at all, but some vast slug. It extends its beer moth head and eye tentacles towards you, snorts a drizzle of fetid saliva, and proceeds to tug its enormous body under itself. It seems to have made up its mind. You are food.
If by life or death I can save you, I will.
I will go and look on the halls of Durin.
I do not fear the dead.
Okay, so pretty sure the counter keyword means every time we engage it, it deals 1 damage to us, regardless of its attack power. Restore 1 to Giant Slug when it attacks. Revenge, 2+2 threat, and it cannot have any attachments. Shoot you. I think I might actually... Yeah, no. This is considered a boss, so that doesn't work. Do we want to defend with Greenwood Defender, maybe? I think I might do that. I think this is a building up phase.
Protect the Greenwood.
Oh, I see how it is. Fine in that case.
Ha! My time has come.
Just a building up round for us. Discard one of your allies, or +1 for each of your allies. Yeah, sure. Only have one ally. Not that big of a deal.
Baruch Khazad!
A red sun rises. I serve no man.
A tall figure awaits Ulfthek in the tower's main hall. He wears cold-hammered black armor, and a black cowl shadows his features except for the unnatural glint in his grey eyes. Ulfthek purposefully strides into the hall to stand before the imposing figure. Damned if he'll show the fear he feels. The mouth of Dol Guldur is not fooled, but smiles cruelly.
Ah, you have message from Cold Ones?
Ulfthek snarls, discomforted by the unnatural chill emanating from Dol Guldur's favored messenger.
I've ridden without halt, so I shall be precise.
The voice is like frozen stone.
I'm to inform you that the masters need the promised slaves with haste. The last batch expired faster than anticipated.
New prisoners, all here, mouth!
Ulfthek grunts.
My warriors, provision first. Leave for Black Hill next dark.
At that moment, the tower rumbles and jolts, as if a great fist had struck its foundations.
The enormous slug falls and the walls tremble, sousing the air with an avalanche of grime. Behind a patch of bogland ivy, you discover a narrow staircase and commence to climb the moldy steps at once. While ascending, a clamor can be heard in the tower above. Harsh yells, clanging of doors, and the bellows of a great orc. How will you ever get out? The stairs emerge into a derelict alcove, overgrown with cobwebs and moss. It faces a great room, finely decorated of old, but now ruined and forgotten. As the racket of the enemy grows closer, you've no doubt that he'll soon be upon you. Speed may be your only hope. You rush towards a set of oaken doors on the far wall, when disaster strikes. As you emerge from the alcove, a troop of orcs slog into the room. They roar in excitement and draw their weapons as more enemies arrive. You are surrounded.
And Sonren locked timed. Okay, so this is a timed location. We can't actually advance it. It just does it itself. -1 to the end. Survive for 4 rounds. Yeah. Sure, balls. Easily gonna hit this one because we can finish it off with one of our ranged units. It's gonna be Legolas because Gimli will get +1 attack, which could be relevant. And then again, no.
A red sun rises.
Our 1/1's likely to die here, but honestly, not a big deal. This readies, kill you. +1 to every orc.
A red sun rises.
I'll make you squeak, you miserable rat!
Well, that was sucked. Huh.
None shall enter.
Sweet. Those keep hitting the worst card in our hand.
serve no man. You would die before your stroke fell.
You breed I would shoot you in the dark.
For the master.
Is the range guy? Yeah, it is. Get wrecked.
I'm gonna bleed you.
Honestly, it's probably just gonna finish off thingy. I kind of want to play this hunter. What does this do? Apply 1 progress to intruders in the tower. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So we can end the round right now. I might do that with
We go.
Fly away if you can.
Slash them, beat them, bite them, gnash them.
Oh shit.
Full ranks, you maggots.
So we could travel, but if we do, then Sauron gets to do attacks with all of his units first. So I don't think we want to do that quite yet. I'm actually going to defend with him. Okay, well that was not what I was expecting.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Hammer and tongs.
Charge!
Block to every character this round. +1 to each player for every hero they have in play. Okay, sure. Every hero, neat. I'm just gonna build up powers here. It's kind of a waste if I play that. Because the surge isn't really relevant here. I think I'd rather, yeah, let's just save the resources. We'll have 8 next turn.
You've broken through the enemy ranks and reached the heavy oaken door. Rushing into the room beyond, you hastily barricade the door behind you. Hinges rattle and splinters fly as the orcs administer powerful blows, urged on by a deep booming voice. The door won't hold long. A hiss causes you to turn as you realize that you've stumbled into the tower's jail. Smeagol is crouching before one of the cells, glaring at you with undisguised loathing. You don't have to guess whose cell this is. Smeagol hisses again, rising protectively before the cell door.
Stop them, we must. God, nasty masters cannot have precious.
The door booms again and several planks fly across the room. Smeagol shrieks as he charges you, face twisted with deranged fury.
That's a great series of draws. Wow. Okay, this is timed. Lock time end. Summon one random orc. Smeagol is in play, so I have to kill him before we can quest here. That's fine. Let's start with this
I
then.
am a servant of the secret fire.
Summon a river troll. It's a 3/5 with upkeep restore 1. Should we care about that? kind of want to refill my hand. I think I might be a little greedy. I think we either need to deal damage here or just buy ourselves more time against the threat. I think I like reducing the threat to be safe. And we can smack you.
Back to the shadow.
Common cause, ready you. That's kind of annoying, but just means we'll use...
You cannot pass!
Oh, he decides to leave before we kill him. +1 every time you play a card. I don't know if we care about that so much. Could get rid of it before we play more cards, I suppose.
He cannot stand alone.
Okay, Soren's passing. What else do we have here that we might want to do? I should have looked at this. Summon one random ally, location specific.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Kind of want to try that, sure.
I serve the king!
Block guard. Not great. Not the best ally, but whatever.
I serve no man.
Hammer and tongs!
Follow my beast, wait, you miserable rat!
Soren's hand refills to 5 cards. This thing has blocks, so I think we're fine to just start questing here.
I serve no man.
Block and guard is actually pretty good, though, to be honest. Combined on the same card. Pretty good.
He cannot stand alone.
We'll put red maggot holes in your belly.
A red sun rises.
And this guy has Surge, so we can do this immediately.
You're elated to have found Bilbo, but the situation is grim. Just beyond the broken door, Ulfthak and his orc warriors are preparing a second attack. You cannot hold them off forever. Trapped and near despair, you prepare for a last stand. But wait, a shaft of moonlight attracts your eye. Screams and pleas from the other cells tear at your conscience, but there's no time. As you swear one day to return for the poor souls, Ulfthak commences the second onslaught. Quickly, you lift a reluctant Bilbo out the high window, following headlong yourself. You crash onto a steep slope and tumble violently down through branches and brambles, until deposited with a splash into a cold stream. You see Bilbo a small distance ahead, treading water and sighing.
Oh no, old boy. Not again.
The current of the stream is strong, dragging you quickly downriver. In the distance, you hear the now familiar cries of an orc pursuit. You're not in the clear yet.
Alright, let's see the epic conclusion to this quest. Timely rescue. Ready one wounded character. But it was fun. I thought we'd get a extra for killing him. Not actually. Travel from the pit. Every hero at full health. Okay, whatever. I have a lot of fellowship. I gotta start unlocking cards. I'm probably gonna just save that for when I complete everything at standard difficulty, and then we'll see how hard it is to complete it on the next difficulty, and then maybe we'll do it. Down the Anduin. This was my favorite quest in the original game. Obviously, I'm sure it's way different in this one, but there was a quest called Down the Anduin or something similar to that, and it was probably my favorite quest in the original physical card game. All right, let's finish this off.
To rescue Bilbo Baggins from Mirkwood spiders, you fought bears, a monstrous slug, met the treacherous Smeagol, and much more. You've discovered that the great spiders are in league with a host of orcs, collecting slaves for some devilry to the south. You managed to free Bilbo from their orcs and their captain Ulfthak. Escaping on a fast-flowing stream, the current has taken you several miles away before you're able to swim onto dry land. Looking to the northeast, the sight of distant torches confirms what you fear, that Ulfthak and his minions are in pursuit. Bilbo shakes with cold. You must find some way to reach the River Anduin and get the old hobbit to safety. After following the bank for some miles, you catch the sound of pounding ahead. You soon come upon a terrible sight. A hill troll has beaten 2 Beorning fishermen to death, and now looks to be deciding which to eat first. Lapping against the shore is what you're looking for, a large fishing raft.
If by life or death I can save you, I will.
My axe is restless in my hands.
I can walk this path, but others have not this skill.
Alright, select starting hand. I like the defender in most opening hands. I really wish there was a way to look at the board, because I wanted to see what we got going on here. It's just block. Okay, so it just takes 1 less damage from everything. Oh, that artwork, it looks familiar. Pretty sure we want this and this. Or sorry, not necessarily this. This, yes. Probably one of these allies. Not sure about you. Kinda like you. Especially with Legolas, obviously. I think we'll get rid of you and possibly this. What does this say? Untie the rope that tethers the raft. Restriction hill trolls in place. So we have to kill the hill troll. This doesn't help us do that right away. This is a 6. Probably want to keep this. Yeah, I think all but that. Feint is nice, but yep. Okay, Feint is actually a really good draw with this hill troll being a regular ally.
What have I
then.
got in my pockets?
Pinging any of those doesn't do much, so I'm an idiot. That has block, it doesn't take damage from that. Oops! Alright, fine. Let's do this, though. Okay, Bilbo. Time for you to shine. Power, steal 1 from Sauron.
I'll do the stinging.
Playing a treachery. What if it might be cancel the next event in play? It could also be cancel the next item in play. I think we need a mix of stuff. Let's do this first and see if it triggers it. Scar 1 random card for hand. Okay, could have been worse. It's probably the best one that we could have gotten out of our hand. Other ones are kind of useful too, though.
He cannot stand alone!
Hammer and toss!
You would die before your stroke fell.
Do we want to ready this just to take away that from Sauron? I don't think so. I think we just end. Remove the restriction from the board the raft. Interesting.
Protect the Greenwood. My time has come.
Stay away if you can.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4 damage.
He cannot stand alone.
Get rid of you. Ranged and stealth. It's kind of nasty. Let's take this opportunity to like add to our board.
Before your stroke fell.
Again, I think I'm just gonna end.
He cannot stand alone.
Good job, Zoran. Oh, for every ally in play counts. Oh, counts my guys. I gotcha. Why don't I steal one of those resources then? Play the treachery, sure.
I guard against the darkness.
Order my due squeak, you miserable rat!
The enemy is upon us.
He cannot stand alone. A red sun rises.
You struggle to manage the unfamiliar vessel as it lurches and wobbles on the narrow stream. After some hours, the tributary widens at last to connect with the mighty river Anduin. You carefully guide the raft through the eddies that roil in the junction of the two currents, and soon find yourself rapidly floating south on the great river. Suddenly, an orc arrow lodges itself in your raft with a thud. Cruel shapes move on the forested eastern shore, easily keeping up with your clumsy raft. Cursing the persistence of orcs, you reluctantly steer towards the more turbulent western side of the river, hoping to put more distance between the raft and the enemy archers. Alas, recent rainfalls in the Misty Mountains have given the river fuel, and the rapids soon become treacherous. Very treacherous.
That looks funny. Resolve every hazard to continue downriver. Okay. Bilbo must survive. Each player sheds one card. Shedding is like milling, so it's going to come off the top of our deck, so that's not that bad. That's worse. Deal 1 damage to one random character. Pretty sure you lose the game if your deck is ever empty and you go to draw a card, but here's what it is.
The enemy is upon us.
Whoa, I just realized how low Aragorn was. Our deck doesn't have a lot of healing. I'm gonna have to be more defensive, I think. Is there any restore 2 to every ally? Yeah, I was gonna say maybe there's a restore. Let's steal a thingy from Sauron. A resource. I think that's what we want to do. Well, you're not going to live to use that equipment, so F you. F you. Okay, Sauron passes, so we have a lot that we can do on this turn. We have Common Cause, which is nice to use with Aragorn, especially because he readies so much. So first of all, I think we actually want to do this. And we want to use the Warden. Let's go with a veteran accent. Let's play him.
Axe swings too.
What is this one? Apply 5 progress per player to one random hazard. Minus 3 threats might be worthwhile. Reduce every hero to 0 this round. That is going to be very, very nasty if we don't get out of here. Reduce one enemy to 1. I think we just want to do this. Hello? To every ally. I keep mixing up ally. I keep thinking it means everything because of Runeterra. Alright, well that wasn't quite what I was hoping. So what's the one we want to really get rid of then? Probably that one. Actually, this one's really nasty too. Did it just restore them and then exhaust them? That's really annoying. I was planning on using a bunch of common causes.
He cannot stand alone.
Oh no, this was the new one that I played. Okay, cool. You little shithead, Sauron.
He cannot stand alone. You would die before your stroke fell.
I think I really, really should get rid of that. So that was the card that was shed that we lost. This thing is the one that took the 1 damage from that event. Pretty good, all things considered. There's that bow, finally. Which is the one with what's better? Probably that at this point.
I serve no man. He cannot stand alone.
Sauron just passing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We can get rid of a bunch of these.
A red sun rises.
I think it's worth getting rid of since we're nowhere near finishing that. Ugh, we're about to get this though. And if I end, I think he just gets to do everything. Let's just do this then to start. That's not a big deal. Good job, Sauron. Discard 1 card. Probably you. Oh, there's the thing. I have a lot of resources.
He cannot stand alone. He cannot stand alone. A red sun rises.
I feel like I should spend some of my resources. I don't know how much you can build up. That's actually more than I thought you'd be able to. And we're also going to lose these cards anyway. So maybe I actually replace you. I don't want to play you to just give him a unit. That would be bad. We have a decent amount of firepower, so maybe you're fine to get rid of. I could complete the quest. We'd get an enemy though. That's fine. I think we can linger a little bit longer.
I serve no man.
Sauron's just straight up passing. What is the other one? -3 threat. We might actually really need that, so. Gonna build up. I'm gonna just do that right now. -3. We don't need that, and it's location specific, so reduce one enemy to 1 defense. I'm guessing that's a targeted ability, so we can do that whenever, wherever. Maybe it's worth doing this. Like, what's the worst that he could do? If he has something that's got pursuit, that would be really nasty. He'll probably kill this, and then we get to ready one of our characters. Maybe not. Maybe I just want to equip this while I have the chance. Maybe you. Let's just travel. Yeah. Get the hell out of here.
Barely surviving the turgid rapids, you're overjoyed to see the wider Anduin ahead. You fervently hope the orcs have given up pursuit and returned to their decrepit tower. You'll keep to the river until you reach the banks of Lorien. The elves will surely shelter you and allow Bilbo to recover from his ordeal. Lost in thoughts of the Golden Wood, you fail to notice the change in the river until it's too late. Without warning, the raft bucks with a wooden screech and halts. The jolt throws you forward, and several bags are thrown into the river. At first, you're confused by the impact, but realize the widening of the river has shallowed the water. Enough, in fact, that you're able to wade into the water to retrieve your packs. When a roar suddenly erupts from the eastern bank, your enemy's plan is laid bare. The orcs knew about this ford and have waited for this moment. The howls intensify as the orcs and goblins emerge from the tree line and rush into the shallow waters.
Deny the crossing to hold your foes at bay until you can escape upon the water. 2/6 guard, 2/3 pursuit, grants pursuit to every orc. We definitely want to make sure we kill that before we travel. Oof. Aid from Lorien, Halder. Arrival, -1 to every orc. 0 cost every Sylvan in hand. Well, that's useful since considering we have 3 of them. We probably want to build that up, actually. What do we want to ping? Probably you. Maybe you. Let's go here, actually. Another Sylvan. We have a lot of resources this game. Holy smokes, we don't need them. Where the heck is Gandalf? Let's defend with you to start. Defend with you. I'm gonna start replacing these allies anyway, so I may as well use them. Okay. And I also like am kind of concerned about Legolas's low health. Sorry, Aragorn's low health.
He cannot stand alone.
Oh, all right, that works. Let's use you before you die. Actually, I might defend with you. some point. Summon one Orc Hound. Well, that's annoying. I don't want you acting. Perfect. We'll ready you. Wow, you got a lot of shit with him.
We have been keeping watch, warriors.
You cannot go back!
Oh, you're Noldor, not Sylvan. I thought she was Sylvan, but the reason why I misremembered is because I remembered that the Sylvan blade works well for her. But that's because it also works for, or the Elven blade, because it says it cares about Noldors and Sylvans. Anywho, 2/4 for free. Yep. What do you do? Guard, stalwart, ranged. Well, that's a great card. Guard, stalwart, and ranged. So you get 2 attacks with her every turn. It seems like it's a card that you can actually put in your decks too. Guard means they must attack her, and with that beefy attack, that's pretty good. She's probably a 2 cost normally. No questing power, which is understandable.
He cannot stand alone.
Okay, what do we have here? I care about using. Probably actually want you.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Can't get this right away. Have time though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're at max.
I'll do the stinging. Yeah.
So many resources. I almost feel like we should just play these archers since they're free anyway. Do some pings. And then replace, who are we replacing? We want you, I guess it's you.
You breathe so loud I could shoot you in the dark.
Oh, I'm so dumb, I could have shot with her first before we replaced her.
My blade has seen many battles. The enemy is upon us.
I protect the forest and all who dwell within. Make our stand.
This is busted. You're more expensive. But that's fine, you're free. We don't.
The enemy is upon us. We are playing with tricks that you won't like.
Block and guard. What an annoying enemy. Getting low on cards. Are we gonna lose because of that?
He cannot stand alone.
That doesn't do anything. Bilbo, you finish it off. We're gonna save Gandalf for the final encounter for sure. This thing have pursuit? No. So then we're safe to just build up. No idea what the next location could have, so I'm just gonna build up more even though there's nothing else to spend it on. And let's travel.
The golden haze of Lorien is finally in sight. Weary beyond words, your mood is somber. You settle the spent raft on a bank of soft grasses and marigolds. Ahead, the edge of the Golden Wood is blurred by a light haze, as if looking into a dream. Beautiful and perilous is that place. A sanctuary for those who come with peace in their hearts, an ossuary for those that come with violence. The end of your journey in sight, the oh-so-familiar thunder of heavy boots nearly breaks your resolve. Furious that you escaped his trap at the ford, Ulfthak has crossed west of the Anduin with a strong force and has sped for days to intercept you. They emerge from the nearby pinewood like a rotten stain on the green field. Your tired frames are no match for their strong legs, and Ulfthak's host easily moves between you and the golden trees. In baleful cacophony, the orcs howl as they attack. Yet, did you hear something else above the din? The call of the clear horns, and of horns answering.
Final encounter. Defeat Ulfthak and his minions. Ulfthak arrives in 2 rounds. Okay. So first of all, what's this thing? Deal 3 damage to Bilbo. Okay. More worried about thingy at this point. +1 if Dolgothar Scout is wounded. Want to store on Orc Marauder attack. I think we want to make sure this is Gonzo. Finally found a Ranger's Cloak. This 3 damage is kind of worrisome. Let's defend with you to start. Yep. Reduce 1 enemy to 1 defense. Well, I think we're gonna save that for our boy, Ulfthak, who's on his way.
You would die before your stroke fell.
Look out!
Crap.
Fate, the bearer, is in my hands no longer.
I was just thinking about like, oh, we're gonna do this, and that's gonna be so great with Aragorn, and then that happened. I should have just done that before acting, because then I would have given him 1 more defense. Yikes. Okay, well, we're probably gonna play Gandalf then.
I am a servant of the secret fire.
I don't think we want to draw 3 cards. Our deck is actually pretty low. What do you do? 3 damage? That's actually not that big of a deal. I think we're just going to deal 3 damage.
Go back to the shadow.
Oh shoot, he's a really good quester. I should not have defended with him. It should have been him. Crap. Alright, whatever. Well, that's annoying too. Gandalf is fleeting, so we'll probably just veteran Sword Elf and kill that. I think I like that.
My blade has seen many battles.
You, oh damn it. Shit.
Lazy lob.
Well, I should have put the Ranger's Cloak on you. You may as well do this now. Gandalf number 2 is nice. Let's start here.
before your stroke fell.
Lazy lob!
The fact that you get to choose there is so good. Yeah.
The enemy is upon us.
Deal 3 damage to Bilbo. Uh-oh. Oh no, I do remember. It says that when you run out of cards, you actually just keep playing and you have to use what you have in hand. So we're not going to be just dead. I mean, we may as well do this.
I protect the forest and all who dwell within.
Holy shit. Block and guard. Holy crap. Oh, we just got some new shit, though. Deal 2 damage per player to every Ulfthak's champion. Ignore block. So these will all just take 2. We have 7, huh? Remove guard from every champion. And reduce one enemy to 1. Oh, damn it. Okay. We think here. So this defense is nice to begin with. Remove block from everyone. We might do that, actually. I might take the opportunity, because his first melee attack is going to be blocked by this Guardian of the Forest. I think I want to remove block from everything. I don't care about guard. I have to defeat a bunch of stuff anyway, I think. And then deal 2. Maybe I want to deal 2 first, since it ignores. And then we can maybe quest and then do this as a free action the next turn. I only need to quest for 2. Let's do this. Okay, so now let's do this. Which means we get more out of our defense actions, technically, right? So let's just start defending a bunch.
Kill them all.
Gotta be wary about Bilbo. He's pretty low defense. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10.
A red sun rises.
Don't let them hurt the boss. I'll do it for the boss. Not on my watch. This way.
Crap. I should have just played an ally. No, wait, we can still... I guess I want to get rid of you.
I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me. You cannot pass!
Don't let them hurt the boss.
For Rohan!
Ah! Oh.
What? Where did that come from? Oh. We are not in a good spot. This was a long frickin' mission. Holy smokes. We like lost so much of our deck too. Deal.
The enemy is upon us.
Baruch Khazad! I'll do the stinging.
Whew, that was close.
Bilbo rests his head against one of the great malon trees and takes another breath of otherworldly air. For several weeks now, the old hobbit has convalesced in Lorien. What a place, and what rest it has been. Beautiful, eternal, majestic, and somehow lit by gentle sorrow and longing this place is. Where Rivendell, like its master, stands uniquely between the immortal and the natural, Lorien is utterly immortal. A place impossible for mortals to truly understand, especially hobbits. While Bilbo's journey to this place had been altogether unexpected and entirely circuitous, he was glad to have seen the Golden Wood. The place strangely soothed the secret darkness that sometimes pulled at his heart, as the abyss may pull at the one who stares into it. Splendid as Lorien was, Bilbo felt healed and was ready to move on. He longed to see Dale and the Lonely Mountain, and the thought of Rivendell pricked a homesick pang in his soul.
The creature glanced furtively down at the land of golden hues. Even at night, the unhealthy glow of the place hurt its eyes. And even at a distance, the air of the place hurt its lungs. The thief, the miserable trickster Baggins had gone into that terrible place, and the creature had lost the trail. It wringed long fingers in misery, cursing the bright light of the white eye above. Sniffling and sobbing, it crawled down the stony slope, staying into the darkest shadows where possible. The creature considered returning to the forest, but knew in its heart of hearts that its time there had passed. There was something in the south, something the creature could not define, something that tugged at it, like instinct or the smell of fish, a sense that tasted like metal, like a tinge of the precious. South. The creature turned to follow the rocky bank. It preferred to move in shadows carved by the moonlight, and it soon disappeared into the deeper shadows that lay to the south.
There we go. Yeah, I'm trying out. We just played through the first quest of the Lord of the Rings adventure card game. I'm going to upload the whole 2.5 hour session to my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Oh, sweet. We unlocked the Guardian of the Forest. We were just talking about how cool that card looked and might want to put it into a deck. Complete the quest with every hero in play. Womp womp. Sorry, Aragorn. Complete the quest with Bilbo at full health. Yeah, not really. Defeat the hill troll or travel before the second round ends. Okay, that was cool. Use Bilbo to steal 5 from Sauron. That's I think we stole 3 or 4, so I think we were pretty close. The same round. Defeat every Ulfthak's champion the same round they enter play. So we gotta like remove, block, and deal 2 like we did, but then we have to like just go ham with our party. Sweet, so that was fun. That was long, but it was fun, and it got actually pretty intense at the end there. So that was the entirety of the first campaign, The Shadows Reach. I'm guessing The Shadows Fall is a direct sequel. It's probably the whole, all 3 quests or all 3 campaigns probably have a connected story, I would imagine. All right, that's that. Got some. We unlocked some cards. This is one of them. We got some cool... So, yeah, so what we actually completed 2 of our heroes' rewards there. So let's see what this one is. Take 8 actions with Aragorn in 1 round. I believe this is actually an achievement on Steam as well. And if we do that, we get the Sword That Was Broken, which gives a character... Well, it's Aragorn only, so it gives him +1 willpower, and every time you kill something, you get +1 willpower permanently? Yeah, permanently. That's actually pretty good, because it means you don't feel bad attacking with him when you'd rather be questing in a lot of situations, like in our deck, for example, which is more combat focused. He's one of the main ways we can actually tackle quests like that more. Look at that handsome man. We can unlock alternate art. Nah, I like the original. This is the original artwork from the original physical card game, so I'll probably always prefer that. Cool stuff. All right. We've been playing for a while. It's 2 o'clock. It's about time for me to sign off anyway, so thanks everyone for checking it out. If you missed any of the games we played today, they're going to be uploaded on my YouTube channel by the end of the day. We played a couple Runeterra decks, and we went through the entirety of the... What was this campaign called again? I need to know, because that's what I'm going to name it. The Shadows Reach campaign in Lord of the Rings adventure card game. Probably going to try to go through the Shadows Fall. This one was pretty long. I don't know. Depending on how long this one is, we might only do half of it and then finish the other half the following week. We'll see, though. But, yeah, that was fun. All right, that's it for me. So I'm actually going to be streaming some tomorrow. I'm doing a online gaming with some friends in celebration of my birthday as well as that of one of my friends. So we're going to be playing some games, online board games, some free-to-play stuff. Rocket League is on the schedule. So I'm going to try to stream most, if not all of it. So come stop by and hang out if you want to see what we're playing and what we're doing. And with that, though, that's going to be it for me today, and we'll catch you next time. See you later.